Good morning, guys. Okay, so this morning or last week we ended up doing the alternator, getting that all taken care of. So this week I kind of want to work on the wiper arms and this interior pieces right here. Like I said, I don't want to put any glass in because if I got to cut something, I don't want the glass to get ruined, so to speak. So this is a piece of glass that I took out of the frame. So if I get one side done, then I can mirror it to do the other side. So what I want to do is I want to make templates of this so I know if I have to cut this lip off or if I have to add to this lip on the inside to actually attach this to. That's what we're kind of trying to figure out here. So the dealio is that you kind of want to leave, I mean, I'm way down, right? So I'm probably, let me get accurate measurements here, right? Because I'm going to need them anyway. So it's a 1/2 inch. So with the glass in, the glass would normally be a 1/4 inch thick laminate glass. That's what I think these glass companies do for flat glasses, is 1/4 of an inch. So it will sit a 1/2 inch in. That has a chance of water sitting here, that kind of deal. I don't know if I'm going to build like a lip on the inside, because this right here, this center bar is not completely flat. It actually has like a little step in it. Yeah. Well, it's a little bit more. It's a little bit more than a 1/2 inch, so it's about 5/8. Yeah. Yeah. So it sits 5/8 inch or 5/8 in. And I really don't know how they do a gasket. You know, there's a lot of unknowns that I don't have because no one called me back to make it. So I'm going to make templates and then I'm going to actually take it to somewhere and just see if they can make it, right? So let me find, there they are. So the only thing that I do know for sure is that it needs an 1/8 inch gap all the way around the glass, right? And that's in order for expansion or whatever you want to call it. So what I'm going to do is I'm taking the ABS stuff that I have, which is an 1/8 inch thick. I'm just making little tabs just so I can basically shim up the glass. And this will give me an idea. Now, this is the first time I've ever done anything like this. So again, it's kind of like a learning process as well. And we're learning how to do this together. Some of you guys who are probably like, oh, this is easy, this is easy. Well, not really for someone that's never done it. I'm not going to lie there on that one. So let's see. And if I do break this piece of glass, I always have another piece of glass that's still in the frame. So I kind of want it right there. So what I'm doing is I'm just trying to get a measurement around the edge so I can transfer that. I'm going to transfer it to cardboard first, 1/4 inch cardboard, and then I'll probably run down and get a piece of 1/4 inch board, and that way it won't like cardboard flexes, right? And I don't think I want that for a template. So right there. Okay. Whoops. Let's see. Yeah. So I think this side is going to go in. Because I still want to hit that lip on the inside. Now the top and bottoms are real easy because they're wide, right? So by looking at this, it's got to gain quite a bit here. So here it's like, what is that, 7/8. Up here is 1 inch. And up here would be 3/4 of an inch, and yeah, right there is a 1/2 inch. So it does some weird things, we'll say. So instead of just blindly putting this down on a piece of cardboard and just cut it and cut it, what I think I'm going to do is I'm just going to put tape on the glass and then on the edge here, and then hopefully, let me see if I got some tape. I do. So hopefully that will give me my guide edge so I can trace it over to cardboard and see how that goes, right? So I'm going to pull you in here. Hopefully we can get these templates made, so then we can go from there on how we're going to do this, right? Let's just do this one. Let's just do this all the way around. Right here and right here. Okay, this one's fitting a lot better, guys. All right, guys, so after a quick trip to Home Depot, I got me some 1/4 inch MDF, and I got 2 pieces. Because when I put this template up to the passenger side, it's a little different. Basically, a little different up in here. So I'm going to make two separate panels, one for the driver's side and one for the passenger side. So this one would be the driver's side, or the original one. Okay. So it fits in there. It's got a little bit of slop to slop, side to side. So what I have to do is, so these lips up here, I'm going to have to trim it down, right? So, yep, I'm going to have to take off these edges right here. So let me get this piece out. I'm going to have to trim these sides off that wrap around. And then we'll fit it up in there, and then I'll trace the inside. So there is a vent down here, like a defroster vent, sort of. I'm going to lose that just because it's up against it. Yeah, so it's just up against it. So I'm going to lose that, but I may put like just little tiny defroster vents in there because that AC unit that I have does have defrost. So hopefully this won't be a total waste. And once I get the guy out here to pick up the templates or whatever, I can show him what I did, and hopefully he doesn't have to redo them. So let me, yeah. So let me trace that out. Okay, let me get that panel off from inside. It's just 4 screws, and then it just drops right down. So let me get that off. All right, so let's see if this one will fit that side without modifications. Yep. Nice. So it fits both sides. Okay, so we got the windshield template done. I've got this whole piece trimmed down, so now it won't interfere with the outside lip here. So that's good. So now is to do these wiper arms. So I've got one already installed, and these do have, I got one installed, right? So these aren't super expensive, not at all. I think these were like 25, 30 bucks a piece, right? So it has, you know, your negative and your positive, right? And then it's got a switch. So the whole point is I can either leave these in the on position and wire it down to a switch on the dash, or I can open up the header panel so I can actually get them from in the inside. You know, I think I'm just going to leave them in the on position, run 2 wires down, you know, run the wiring down, and then put them on a switch. It'd be easier just to do it that way than modifying or cutting and pasting metal into those little, you know, cutting out openings so I can reach my hand in there and turn them on and off. So, I mean, I do have to replace the center section of that header panel because it is rusted through. But let's see if we can get these mounted. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this one off because I did have to use like a collar or a spacer to bring them out. If not, this whole thing would be sticking out like 16 inches. Obviously, that's an exaggeration, but you understand what I'm saying. So there is a way to wire these so they're kind of in sync, basically so they park in the same spot together. Now, as they get going, they'll probably go crazy, and meaning that they'll do their own wiping thing. But when you turn them off, they will park in the same spot, right? So they're there. The washer is actually stuck up in there. There we go. So we'll put these pieces up there so we don't lose them. And this is the collar that I had to make. So this collar, actually, are these about the same? Oh, no. Okay, so they're actually different. Of course they are. Look at that. The heights are different. Okay. All right. Well, yeah. So that's always good. So if we're so I just have to make a collar a little bit different. So they're the same. Yeah. Because if I put it through right now, I'll show you. So that goes on the inside. Put it through. See how far they stick out? Like a lot, right? So what I want them to do, I want them to stick out the same. So let me measure this side. Yeah. So we'll put this on, and then we'll measure that. How much is going to be sticking out. And then we'll just make the collar to the other side to match. So they got to go like that. So right there. And this is definitely not exacting, but so let me bring you over to the table. One inch. On a 1 inch. So right there. So collar. So I want 1 inch sticking out. So total is 1.25 inches. So 1.25 inches. So right there. So this has to be, so the collar has to be 1.75 inches. So I got to make a collar for this side 1.75 inches. Let that cool down for a second. Okay, guys, so they are mounted. I know by running a dual wiper arm or wiper motor switch that you have to run 2 sets of wires down. That's about all I know about it. I have a diagram somewhere. on how to wire a dual wiper switch so they both park in the same place. So when they get going though, they may do all sorts of weird stuff, but when you turn the switch off, it's supposed to park in the same place. So right now I marked where they're parking now individually. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have to turn the motors so they kind of get right, if that makes sense. So this one is clocking right here. And then how they start is they go like this. So they actually park right here. Am I a big fan of that? No, not so much. But, you know, hopefully I'll never have to turn them on. But the whole point is just to have them there, you know, as a just in case. So this one I got to park a little bit better than where it's at right now. Right about there. Right? Well, actually, let's go right there. There we go. So that's, at least that's how I'm setting it up. So it'll be about there. Kind of out of the way. And then this one, even though these were bought from the same people on Amazon, they seem to be different. You know, it is what it is. You know, I like everything about this one better than this one. I like how the cone is. I like how it doesn't, the wiper, the little wiper gasket here, the rubber gasket that sits up against the cab. I like how it's bigger than the actual cone. On this side, it's not. So, I don't know. That's all I do know is that. So there's the wiper arms per se. So, I mean, I'll turn you around here and I'll show you how they go. So I just have them run right down to the battery for now. But as you can see right there, so I'm going to leave these in the on position. See? So that would be the sweep on that side. And then here, see? See, that's the thing. See how it's kind of parked here now? I don't know. And if we turn this off, that one seems to keep parking in the right spot. Ish. No, okay. So they kind of have a mind of their own, which doesn't surprise me. Because these are not like super awesome expensive wiper arms, right? Anyway, so they're set up. Okay guys, so I just made an executive decision as I was looking up there. I'm just going to leave these things running independently with the switch that's already on it. So what that means to me is right where these indentations are, I'll have to cut that out on both sides. So that's what we're going to do now. We're going to cut them, and then we are going to possibly fix this rusty part right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to cheat here a little. I'm going to find the center, which is right there, and then the center right here, and I'm going to use a hole saw. So the holes are way off. So here's the hole. It's right there. And then the same on this side. Here's the hole, and it's right there. So it looks like we'll be drilling new holes, and then we'll be covering all that up. So I still have the pieces, so at least there's that. All right. So let's try this again, guys. Okay, guys, so we are inside. So as you can see, it's like all sorts of ugly on both sides. So what I'm going to do is this is the location that this goes permanently. So I am going to be drilling out, well, not permanently, but on and off right here. Like this is the spot where it's going to be. The side pieces fit perfect on both sides. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this bolt out, or this screw and that screw over there, and I'm going to run some rib nuts, 1/4 rib nuts right there and there. So it'll always come in and out in the same spot. It's much better than trying to find a darn screw every time, trying to put it in there. And then once that's located where it needs to be, or where it's going to sit, right here, there's a gap right there. So there's actually little screw holes right here that go into these tabs right there. So once I get the back in place, then I can go here and here and over here and over here. Then once that header panel is in place, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to start carving around the metal for the wiper arms, and then probably build like a little take a piece of 18 gauge and just kind of put it around the wiper motor itself. That way it'll give me like a cup, and then I can slide it over the wiper arm or the wiper motor, and then tack all the way around, so it'll give me a good recess, is what I'm trying to say. Okay, so let me pull those out, and then put in rib nuts so I can attach that every time in the same spot. We'll be right back. All right, guys, so I got the rib nuts in, and then I started trimming out around this one wiper arm. So let me show you. And then I got to pull this out, and then I'm going to make a sleeve for around that wiper arm, and then I'm going to weld that in and then sheet over the rest. Let me show you. All right, so I've got it carved out, and then as you can see, there, and then right here, I have rib nuts. So I'm going to take this back off, sleeve this side. I'm going to do one side at a time, obviously. Sleeve this side, and then weld that piece onto here. So when this slides off, it always slides in and off in the same spot, right? Right. So again, inside the cab, kind of hard to record because my head's in the way all the time. So I don't know. At least you're getting an idea of what I'm doing in there. So it's not like, ta-da, it's done. Okay, so let me pull that piece out. Then we'll get ready for the next part. Good morning, guys. So yesterday we left off with me making these really cool cup things. There it is on the ground because it's trash. Making this really cool cup thing to go right there. Well, in typical Chris fashion, he decided to make a lot of extra work for something that didn't need to be. So, what you just saw there was me rethinking the whole idea. So I just made like a little plate here. So the deal is that these wiper motors stick out about a inch on the bottom, and then they're kind of all like crooked sideways, how they're bolted in there. It just doesn't look good. I mean, I did take the cup, I put it welded in there, and when I put it up in there, it really just didn't look good. So what I'm going to do now, what I am doing now, is I just cut a big hole, and then I'm just going to put a plate in, and then side it in, and then it'll just be like a little speed hump, like that. I think that's going to look way better. I'm going to finish this one side, and once I get this all up in there, and then I'll show you how it looks, and it'll be way more better. I probably will have to body work this a little bit. I still got to replace this and then do the other side, but let's work smarter, not harder, I guess. And so what that does mean is that I will not be running individual switches on these, like using those up there. I will run the wiring down. I will get a single or a dual wiper motor switch. It'll just look better. It'll just look better. And that's kind of where I'm at right now. So I just have to, these are just tacked in here, and then I'm going to put in little pieces on the sides here. And then that will be, it'll be way much more better than what I had before. So let me finish this up and then I'll show you. All right, so there it is. Like I said, I'm going to have to body work it a little bit, but I'm okay with that. This is going to look way more better than what I had before. So let me set this up in there and then I'll bring it back. All right, guys. So that's going to be way more better. So let me swap you around and I'll show you. See? Like I said, that's way better. It's just a little bit of a hump. Covers it up, smooths it out. I'll go with that all day long. So let me get the other side caught up and then we'll bring it back. All right, guys. So I've got the other side made. So now we're matching-ish. I started blowing holes through here right here. So all I got laying around is 16 gauge. So I'm doing all this with 16 gauge instead of 18 gauge. Well, I have a piece of 18 gauge, but I'm saving that for something. So these are just little scrap pieces I have. Anyway, so we got these, our little wiper motor space now for the wiper motors. So I'm going to work on this center section. So what I did was I just put the tape out, drew it out, right? Classic. And then I swapped it over to metal. I stuck it over there in my pipe bender, made marks. And look at that, right there. So what we're going to do is we are going to now trace this out. I'm going to take the old marker off it and then trace it out, cut it, put that piece up, and then, you know, try to weld it in there without too much warpage going on, I guess, is all I got to say about that. Yeah, I got to flatten that side out a little bit more. Ah, there we go. And I made it super big. Yeah. Okay. So, let's start doing this. Okay, guys. So, fit up definitely could have been better. But I started getting into welding, blowing through the metal. I guess it's kind of thin right there. So, anyway, so I had to end up cutting that and bringing it back up. But overall, and honestly, I know I'm going to be body working this just to smooth all these little seams out here and right here and these holes right here. So I already treated the backside, as you guys know. So I'm not going to worry 100% about these two holes right here. I mean, I'm going to fix them, but probably I'm going to fix them with just, probably what I'll do is I'll just put like panel bond on the back of that just to kind of fill up the holes because the rust has already been treated, right? And I could try to get in there and keep welding, but you know what? It's going to keep blowing apart. So I'm just going to, since it's so thin, I'm just going to smither it with some of the stuff. But yeah, that's a good time right there. So let me put this up in there and I'll show you. All right, guys. So we got her back together-ish. That one right over there is just a piece of cardboard that I did my original template, and that, or not original, the second template. And this is actually the real template that I'm going to give to the person whenever they show up to grab it. So let me bring you inside here, and I'll shoot from the back so you can see how it looks. So there it is. That looks way more better than what I was going to do with that cup thing over there. And, you know, I was doing the typical Chris thing and making it too difficult and too complicated and trying to be uber cool, I guess. And that looks much better. It's completely smoothed out, so you don't see these two big old wiper motors sticking out. And like I said, I'm just gonna run wiring down to a switch. I'll probably put the switch somewhere over there, but I don't know. I think that's going to be awesome, right? So my pieces here, I just have to bolt them in, or those use screws. So the screws are about that long when I took them out. So, you know, it is what it is. And then right there, boop, there's the rib nuts up there. And it actually has dimples in this piece for like a visor. I don't know. These aren't all the way drilled through. They're just like little placeholders. But anyway, so that's going to wrap up this weekend. That took way longer than it should have because of my own complication of stuff. But let me ask you guys a question. So it might have not been the best for me to buy chrome rims in the back off of Marketplace, because I'm really starting to dig chrome rims on this. Like, it's kind of like all I don't want to say drab, but it's all like, you know, dark and all that. And those chrome wheels right there, man, those really, really set it off. You know, I can get the 15 by 8s with 2.5-inch back spacing in the front, chrome. But just hear me out. Just hear me out. So going chrome on all four corners, but the baby moons, what if I were to paint those green to match the truck? You know, I don't know, I'm on the fence here. I think I'm gonna go that route. But let me hear it from you guys. What do you think? Do you think I should stick with the original plan and just darken them out, or should I run chromes all the way around to brighten it up? That's a tough one. But and I'm sure some of you guys may be thinking, what about the brakes? Did you figure out the brakes or whatever? I haven't even bled the brakes yet. Been kind of cold this week actually here. I mean, it was down to like mid to high 30s in the morning areas, and then, you know, I go to work, and then on the weekend I wanted to get this done. But anyway, so I haven't even bled the brakes yet. But I'm gonna grab one of my kids, hopefully, and pump it up, or wifey to pump up the brakes, and I'll let you know as I get those taken care of. But that's all I'm doing this weekend. I got a few things I got to do this afternoon, and yeah, that's it. So again, guys, thanks for coming out here and watching me fabricate, rethink, cut, weld, slice that header panel. And yeah, go out and build something cool, guys. One weekend at a time. Catch you on the next one. Bye.